Thanks for joining us for another episode of Already Won, a Sports Friends podcast. Each week, Coach Ben and Coach Kyle share their insights, interview special guests, present teachable moments, and offer some extra words of wisdom. The victory is ours, because we've already won.
Hello and welcome to the Already Won podcast, the Sports Friends podcast. I'm your host, as always, Ben Wildman, and I'm here with the mad dog himself, Kyle Apps. How are you doing, Kyle?
I am doing splendid here.
Splendid. Very English of you to say that. I'm doing awesome if you're saying you're splendid. Hey, guys, but God has given us the victory, so whatever you do, don't quit. And this podcast, as always, talks about how if you're a Christian, you can use sports as a great tool in this victory. No matter if you're a player, a coach, or a fan, this podcast will hopefully encourage you to go through relevant topics with great guests and teachable moments. So, Carl, don't forget to tell your friends.
Tell your friends, and your friends' parents, and everyone. Just tell everyone.
Hashtag, you already won.
Already won.
Well, guys, I hope the guys have been enjoying the previous podcast. If anyone wants to sponsor the podcast, then send it over. We need all help we can get on this Already Won podcast. So, yeah,
no problem. We'll name the studio after you. We'll do, commercials. For a good price. That's be a good price. No,
exactly. It really does. But we'd love to hear what you guys think of the podcast. So do get in touch with us on our social media platforms. Carl, how can they email in? How can listeners get in touch with us?
On the bottom of the screen, those who are watching can go to our webpage. If you're listening, sports-friends.org. We're on YouTube. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter or X, Facebook. Send us an email, info@sports-friends.org. Get more information. Happy to reach out. We didn't get rid of the t-shirt last week, so maybe this week, those of you who are going to vote on Ben's special topic as we're talking, there's a competition coming up. I'm going to tell you right now, I won. So if you put my name down, Ben will send you a signed copy of his Wildman Weekly Wisdom.
Well, I'm weekly words, but yeah, that's fine. I mean, look, we can do that. I don't know if anyone's going to get in touch with that, but yeah, hopefully if it inspires one person, hey, it's worth it for that one
person
life
at a time. Right? Yeah,
that's what we're about. That's what we're about. We're about the one. We're about the one. We're about the one. We stop for the one
because we've already won.
That's because we've already won. We stop for the one. Hey, how about that? We like that. That's a good quote right there, Cal. Get that on a t-shirt. Someone get that on a t-shirt. So this week, we're not talking about football, soccer. We're not talking about NBA basketball. We're talking about cricket. So,
all right, on to the guest, Ben Wildcat. You said our next guest special. I agree. I'll go with that, but I'm not sure about this guy. You say something about cricket. Now, when I hear cricket, I think of like little animals that in Nigeria we used to eat them. We deep fry them and salt them and pepe. So, what are we talking about here?
Hey, this is a great guy. Okay, my friend Caleb's coming on. And cricket, look, if you on America or anywhere else, you don't understand cricket, Caleb's going to come in and he's going to put aside any myth you have about cricket. He's going to explain it and he's going to promote it and he's going to expand it. And by the end of it, you're going to be all watching the good old English game of cricket. So that's what I think is going to happen. No pressure, Caleb, when he comes in. But my dog, let me change your mind. Me and Caleb and I are going to try and do that. And many of our listeners, let's bring in Caleb. Come on in, Caleb.
You're setting him up to fail, Ben. You're setting him up to fail. Well, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's see what he's got.
Hey, Caleb, great to see you. Do you think you can do it, Caleb? Do you think you've got what it takes to change Carl's mind?
Easy.
Yeah,
easy. Got this.
Wait a second, Ben. I'm hearing an accent that's not British or Indian or Pakistan or South African. He sounds American. Is he Caleb? Where are you from?
It depends on what you want me to say. If I go bring an accent, I go bring an accent. If you want me to bring an accent, because I have a childhood somewhere else, but I do have two accents. So that's a little bit of a story probably for you guys.
I love it. Let's dive into that because I'm trying to work out. I know the accent. I mean, where is the accent from? Where were you brought up then, Caleb?
Yeah, Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean.
Right.
So
sound a bit like Chris Gale there. Yeah.
Thank you. I've lost a lot of it, and if any Trinidadian were listening right now, they would be like, "Oh no, did he just? What was that?" But you can tell it has an island flair.
So where do you currently live now then? So this second accent, so it's American. Where are you now?
California.
California. So wait a second. You left the islands to go to California.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not Ben. You're not convinced me. The guy's he's got a screw loose or something. You don't leave paradise and come to. Hey,
I agree. I told my parents the same thing. I was a kid, and my dad, medical missionary to Trinidad and Tobago, planted a church, was ready to move back to where he came from and follow the Lord. So back to California, and that was quite a transition. But I've seen God really use the cross-cultural experiences in my life for good, and that's kind of where cricket comes in, actually.
Brilliant. I'm sure we can talk a lot more about that. So how long were you in Trinidad then? What age did you move back to the state?
4 years to 14, so 10 years.
And I can imagine that was, the transitions. A lot of people who work in different countries stuff have that reverse culture shock, but that richness that you had living in a different culture and context, I know from meeting you has stayed with you and has made you the person you are today. But the person you are today, it looks like you've got a bit of an injury for those who are watching on video. Is that a cricket injury? Is someone hit you with a bat, or what is it, kid? What's the injury?
I don't know what you're talking about. Do you see something on my face? I keep walking around since the last couple of days, and everybody's staring at me like, "What's wrong with you?" Anyways, yes, playing. I wish it was about cricket because that's what we're talking about, but soccer. I love soccer as well. And a tackle happened on a turf field. He happened to fall on top of my head, which then scraped my forehead onto the turf. And never experienced that before, but I actually enjoy new experiences. This is exciting each day.
So
people look at me.
Maybe there's a Gorbachev link there.
Yes.
I could say like maybe you're a long lost grandson.
Yes,
there you go. Exactly.
This just proves that soccer is more dangerous than cricket. Looking at that injury, I mean, cricket's played with a pretty hard ball. They call it like a corker, the real hard ones. You get hit with that, I mean, it's pretty dangerous. There's been some very bad injuries. But Caleb, we want you to, how did you get into cricket? Explain. Come on now. How does a guy, I'm guessing it's the Trinidad and Tobago experience and you live in that, not living in America, right? How did you get into it?
Yeah, so cricket, I would say, is a close second sport in Trinidad and Tobago to soccer culturally. And there's at the parks once in a while driving by, you'll see, or every day you'll see soccer, but once in a while you'll see cricket. And as a church group, we would have events once or twice a year. And it's like, oh, let's bring the bat and the wicket out. And my dad's playing with the adults, or even I'd go to a game and my dad plays with the adults and he's trying to swing, but he only knows baseball swing. So he's throwing the bat after he hits, and everybody's laughing at him like, yeah, what are you doing? You don't throw the bat after you hit. So
you do.
As a kid, just a little bit here, a little bit there during PE class. Once the units roll over, cricket would be pop up once in a while. And it honestly wasn't my favorite, but I'm here to tell you, Kyle, how it can be your favorite.
I'm listening.
Okay. Do we keep going?
Okay.
I mean, so Ben keeps telling me that so in all fairness, I've tried to watch cricket, whether it's a 1 day or 3, whatever. You say people enjoy watching this on television? I don't think so. Maybe live. Maybe I've actually watched people at a park across where my son lived here in Milwaukee. I've watched them play it, and it's quite interesting. It's quite, they're not the professionals, but they're having fun. It looks like they know what they're doing. So,
yeah. So, do you want me to convince you right now, Kyle?
I want you to explain it to Kyle. First, I would say, Kyle, sometimes they play 5 days, and it can still be a draw. I know Americans can't get their head around that. What is that? Why do people do that? There's a 1 day version of the game. There's a T20, 20 overs, which is much more exciting, which is now coming into the game. So different formats of cricket, but kind of explain it, and then we'll try and convince Kyle. So for anyone who's listening around the world, there's probably listeners from our sports trends countries who don't have a clue about cricket. Explain it, Caleb, as simply as possible. What is cricket?
Sure. What is cricket? If you are American, you probably know a little bit about baseball, and that is probably the closest connection in terms of a sport and the way it functions. So I will use some baseball terms and then try and translate it a little bit. But a bat, you have a bat, you have a ball. Instead of a pitcher, you have a bowler who is throwing the ball with a straight arm, not a bent elbow, to a batsman. Now that ball usually it's allowed to bounce once and then there's an attempt instead of hitting a strike zone, so a certain space near your waist, the strike zone is a wicket, so 3 pieces of wood from the ground at a certain height that the bowler is trying to then hit. Now that's not the only way to get out. Just like baseball, the batsman can hit the ball and in the air, if it's in the field of space, be caught out. Or just like baseball, the batsman can run to another side, not 4 spaces, first base, second base, third base, home plate, but just one other side and straight switch with another batsman and switch again if they want to run for 2 runs. So again, hitting the ball inbounds, they can run as long as they make it on base or to that crease. It's called the crease, right? Ben, am I getting that right? The crease?
Correct. Yeah.
In the crease to that wicket before the ball hits the wicket. Remember those 3 stumps? Or the person, then they're on base or they're safe. So that's a little summary on a batsman getting out. Instead of baseball, it being 9 innings where you take turns. I love it. Cricket for Dummies. I wrote this book. Just kidding.
For me. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Instead of baseball where there's 9 innings and you trade 3 outs and 3 outs and you do it 9 times and see how many runs you get, one team bats first and then you see how many runs they get. And then the next team bats and then you see how many runs they get. There's a couple different formats, like Ben said, 20 overs. An over is like an inning, 6 bowls. And you do that 20 times. Or there's a 50 overs, 6 bowls. You do that 50 times. Or you can just play for up to 5 days where just try and get every batsman out and see how many runs you get. So that's a very quick summary. There's other rules, and like a home run would be like hitting the ball out of the park. That's automatic 6 runs. Hitting the ball out of the park, but it rolling to get out of the boundary, that would be 4 runs. And the field is not just in front of you in a diamond-like shape like baseball, but it's all around you in an oval. Again, that's just quick cricket for dummies. That's like Spark Notes, if you know Spark Notes as an American. That's just like quick summary. But yeah, that's
love it, Caleb. Love it. I mean, we just mentioned there. So there's not a space you can hit. You hit all round. So I mean, sounds like cricket's better than baseball already. I mean, you can hit it anywhere. I mean, it's 6 runs, 4 runs. Not just a home run. You get multiple runs. But I would say, but to watch a game over 5 days, the way people set the field up, the way that which bowler you're going to bring in, when to go for these big runs. There's a lot. The more you get into it, the more you watch it, I guarantee you'll get into it. I got into it and I didn't live in India, but I spent time in India, and I was over there. The Indian IPL was on, and it was on this TV every night. You couldn't miss it. And I got into it. I loved it. And I understood it. I understood the game more. And now I continue to watch the IPL every year, and I love it. So I encourage people to get into it, give it a watch. But now we are going to have a battle. We're going to battle. Kyle is going to argue why cricket is a waste of time. Okay. And now I'm going to give him 30 seconds. Then Caleb's going to come in, and he's going to come in with his argument why cricket is awesome. Okay. And then at the end of it, they're going to nitpick each other's story, and then I'm going to question them as well. Okay. And you, the listener, will decide whether cricket is a waste of time or, in fact, it's an awesome sport. So are you ready, Mad Dog?
I am.
30 seconds on the clock. Convince us in 3, 2, 1.
No one has any clue what's going on, apart from maybe the judge, lineman, referee, whatever, whatever you're calling the guy. Umpire. I mean, the guys that are swinging, the ball's coming at him, and they're just trying to not have it hit him, right? So they don't have a clue when they swing it. They don't even know where that ball's going. They don't know where the thing is going into the other guy's head. They don't even wear mittens or gloves or anything. They don't know how to catch it. That goes over the little rubber ring around we call it oval. I don't understand.
Time. Okay, Caleb, 30 seconds starts in 3, 2, 1.
Kyle, I'm here to help you understand what's going on. And I did. So now you do know what's going on. And when they are hitting the ball, I don't know if you know about a man named Glenn Maxwell with Australia against Afghanistan, hitting 201 runs in one game. Or isn't that the excitement of how hard it is to hit the ball? And when they actually do, it's phenomenal. And the bowler versus the batsman. So just I'm here ready to convince you, and I think I just did.
Time. Okay, I'm going to go back to Cal. I'm going to give you another 30 seconds. Cal, come back with me. Another 30 seconds, and then we'll go back to Caleb. Then we'll have questions. Off we go. Why is it terrible, Kyle?
Well, you mentioned the guy's name. I don't know him. I don't think anyone in my house knows him. No. So, it's one of those things where they all look nice when they're white and their little hats and their little white stuff on their nose. But when you pan the crowd, there's either very few people there, or they're all drinking tea, or they're just sprawled out, not really watching it. So it's just hard to see the captive audience. Well, they may be captive. Maybe they're all prisoners. Is that who comes?
Time. I would say they're drinking beer as well as tea. Caleb, another 30 seconds. Already over to you. Last 30 seconds. Then we'll have questions.
I'm very relaxed about this now, Kyle, because honestly, I know you're just doing this as a game because the amount of things you just shared about cricket shows you do know about cricket. And I actually hear in your voice a love for the intricacies of the game. And that's what it's about. And if someone actually didn't know about cricket, then all they have to do is get to know somebody. And that's how I fell in love. It actually was here in California with my Afghan friends who've come over, and little by little, you just fall in love with sport because it's cultural. It's connection with people from other places in the world. I think we will.
Fantastic. Well, the audience is going to decide. I'm going to ask you a few questions. Kyle said they don't know where they're hitting the ball. Caleb, are there different types of shots that you play in cricket? Do you know what kind of shots are there?
Yeah, there is a leg side shot. There is a pull shot. So pull shot across your body. If you're a right-hand batsman, across your body, high to the left. A leg side shot is where the ball is a little bit away from your body, and you kind of step into it and put it down your leg's side. There is a scoop shot where you can kind of bend down onto your knee and get the bat under the ball and tap it up so the ball goes up and behind you. It's amazing. Baseball, you're kind of, I don't even know if they call them different types of swings. You're trying to hit the ball, and sometimes you can hit it high from a home run. You can bunt it. But I think there's actually more types of swings you can do based off of the ball bouncing and to the right, to the left, in front of you, straight, high, low, behind you.
Sounds like a lot of skill. Kyle, can you name 5 cricketers or not? Be honest. Do you know 5 cricketers?
Jiminy Cricket, Cricket Wireless, Cricket. No, I can't.
Interesting.
But to be fair, Caleb, yeah, I the history of the cricket in the U.S. is huge because the British kind of brought it over with them. In fact, most of baseball derives itself probably from cricket. In fact, many of the first games of baseball are played on cricket grounds, so it's always something to remember that we have Jiminy Cricket to thank. Cricket to thank.
So does that mean that because baseball came out of cricket, does that mean that cricket is therefore better than baseball? I don't know if it came out of it. Would you say that, or do you say, Kyle, baseball's an upgraded, better version of cricket, or it's an enhanced version?
There you go. Okay. So you see the rules have changed with cricket, or there's different, events, there are different, days and whatever matches. Same with baseball too. They kept changing. So, obviously they changed the way the bat is, the way it's structured, the ball and different things, and the grounds and the run. So I think things adapted to change. And unfortunately, it's changed into an American sport. Like we call it a world sport, baseball, but
it's only in America. Hey, yeah. Unbelievable. World champions. In
America. We got the World Baseball Classic, and they're all Americans playing for
world champions. Champions. Well, I think the only way we're going to decide, I think you know which way I would say, because I've already explained a little bit about why I love cricket. But let's let the listeners decide. There's going to be a poll up on X, formerly known as Twitter, and there's going to be a poll up. Do you think Caleb won, or do you think Kyle won? It's going to be on X. So follow us as sports friends and let's vote who won, Caleb or Carl. Let's let the listeners decide. But I actually thought you guys did quite a good job with that. So I enjoyed that debate a little bit. Caleb, tell us a little bit. You mentioned about connecting with some of your neighbours through cricket. Tell us a bit about what you're doing now with cricket at the minute.
Yeah, so in California now, a large group of people from Afghanistan have come over, and during COVID, there was some soccer coaching going on, but you couldn't get close because COVID. So I was like, well, cricket's has a bat and a ball. You don't have to be close. You just throw the ball and you hit it with the bat. I got to get outside. I wonder if there's people at a park playing cricket. Lo and behold, within the next week, found some friends. We've been friends for 4 years. Every week, multiple times a week, same park, same place, same kids plus more, who have grown up from freshman in high school to senior in high school. And over the last 4 years, we've done anything from a very competitive tournament in Sacramento, along with recreational games, finding other people from maybe India or Pakistan and other teams just playing friendlies, or kids, little brothers of the kids that I'm friends with, coaching them and finding other kids that would like to learn the game and playing. Most of it recreational, but sometimes we get a little bit more competitive. And these guys are so good at cricket. It's amazing to have learned from them. So yeah, I just love talking about life with them, talking about sports, talking about their new American experience, just like I had from Trinidad. I love talking about faith, Jesus, Islam, and all of the above, in life. So we're journeying together. It's a lot of fun.
So through sport, you're able to connect with your neighbours who are from the other side of the world. That is the power of sport, to be able to do that, right? And you say that some incredible players, right? So you play and coach with them, or what does it look like each week?
Exactly. They call me coach, but I'm playing, and I'm average now in terms of the skill level. But we play together most of the week, just laughing, having a good time. This is their social group, like the social group that they connect with. They don't connect at school as much. They're kind of quiet in their classroom. Like, I don't know how to connect with my classmates. At home, they have lots of brothers and sisters. But getting out, going to the park, being with this group. We also go on hikes together. We hang out at cabins and just go out to eat. But yeah, coaching as well when they need that person as an authority to really lay down the law in terms of making a game function or making that match happen. They're a little bit like, where do we go? What do we do? We need your help. So glad to be of service there.
Yeah, that's the power of a good coach right there. I mean, you amazingly able to connect with these people and build all these relationships. And yeah, through sport, able to deepen those friendships and have these amazing conversations. And I imagine, someone arriving to America and not knowing what bus to catch, and having that reverse, culture shock. It's a traumatic experience arriving in a different place where you don't know how to do the basic things. So having this friendship and having this amazing richness of, you being able to talk about your experience living in a different country, them doing that, it's rich. I can imagine the conversation you guys have around how you see the world. And you talked about talking about faith and loads of different things. What an amazing privilege that must be for you and other guys, to rub shoulders and to have that, those relationships, right? I can imagine that's incredibly rich.
Definitely. They have enriched my life. Sacramento, I can't imagine. I had just moved to Sacramento 4 years ago, and then I just met them a couple months later. If I didn't have this kind of friendship, I wouldn't feel as connected to who, or have grown in life with cricket, with seeing the world that they do, the way they do, which is a slower pace of life, which is so relationally connecting, as opposed to a to-do list of things, a schedule throughout the week. They're just easygoing, ready to be together and enjoy life, which I think is so beneficial. They've changed my life for better, for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, we always say that sports is one of the universal languages that people can speak. So whether or not you speak English, whether or not you speak French or German, you get into a community that maybe is not your own, and by having a sport that you're familiar with or know or want to know, it brings about sort of a camaraderie and sort of a friendship that is more unique than just say talking about food. So I think it's great that cricket is that sport that you're using, because a lot of people that have come into the U.S. or whatnot are looking for something to bond over. And I think sport is great. And I think cricket is a way to do that. That's amazing.
Definitely.
Well, Caleb, it's been great talking to you, and I've enjoyed the debate a lot. But keep up the great work playing cricket and coaching, being Coach Caleb, and doing what you're doing over in California. And if anyone's listening that wants to watch cricket, go for it. But if anyone wants some resources, we do have some cricket resources as well through Sports Friends, and we've got some new virtual training as well, which we can give you access to as well, which is really exciting. So do get in touch with us. How can listeners get in touch with us, Carl?
They can go to our website, sports-friends.org. They can email us at info@sports-friends.org. They can go to our Twitter. They can just go everywhere that we have a presence.
Fantastic. And they can all have their minds changed.
They'll
be asking for Caleb. Yeah, they'll be asking me. After Caleb's convinced them, they'll want to know more from Coach Caleb, I think, after hearing that. So, Caleb, thank you so much for your time. Anything else you want to share with us, or are you happy?
I'm happy, but I do want to know who won. Do we not know who won yet?
Well, after the poll, it will be on the poll. Coming in. So
I'll check it out.
So you'll have to wait. Yeah, you can't wait for that. Caleb, thanks so much, and we'll look forward to catching up with you soon.
Bye, guys. Thanks. You.
That was great. Good to have Caleb on. All right, I'll give you a little bit. I may be a little bit more open to watching cricket. I'd love to play. I actually did play it once. We had is it a tee? The ball was stationary and we got to hit it. I think it was just to kind of give the outfielders or whatever you call them a practice at it. So it was good to try.
Sounds like you're a secret cricket lover by the sounds of it.
Hey, I'm a secret. I want to be, but it's hard. You're making it hard. You're making it difficult. Add to the fact that I watch BBC, mystery movies and TV shows, and most, when a predator comes to the door, they always go to a closet and they grab something and they come out and it's a baseball bat. Then where does all these baseball bats in England? Why is there a secret movement for baseball?
No, because all the cricket bats are being used to play the brilliant game, right? So that's why the baseball bat, they're thinking this is only useful.
I'm gonna throw this at you.
I don't know. I mean, we're joking around. I'm joking. I actually quite enjoy watching baseball as well. So yeah, look, we were joking around there, and there may be some people who really love cricket or really love baseball and may be offended. And I hope we didn't do that. We were just doing that in a joking way. Carl and I both see, baseball and cricket as great sports. But, there's something there that in different cultures, sometimes we offend each other sometimes with or without realizing. And I was really struck by with hearing Caleb, a teachable moment for me was around this incredible richness between two different cultures. And it struck me how the people that Caleb's playing with and coaching, Caleb's learning from them, and yet they are learning from him as well. And there's this incredible thing of mutual learning. And I think when there's different cultures, I'm in a cross-cultural marriage. And if I think I understand her culture and my culture, I'm in big trouble. And I think it's this teachable moment to always remain a learner in culture. If you think that you understand stuff and your way is the right way of doing it, like my way, cricket is better than baseball, for example, it can get you in very hot water, right, Carl? I mean, you could probably testify to that, living in different cultures and contexts.
Yeah, I mean, so as a player, as a coach, even as a spectator, as whatever you're doing, you have to be a learner. You have to have that role as a learner. But at the same time, maybe I remember going to baseball games with my father as a child, and we get the program, the list of the players and then the stat sheet, and my dad would show me how to keep score, how to write a strike and a ball and a walk and all these different things. But then at the same time, I would be able to pass it on to my child. He didn't like baseball, so maybe I just did another sport with him. But at the same time, you're passing those information on to other people. So when you have you're a spectator, whether you're a player or a coach, you have to have that sort of give and take. Of course, ultimately the coach is the authority. He's the one who's putting players in, taking players out. But he needs to, during the practice time, find out what motivates his player, what keeps his player encouraged, and what just kind of builds that player up. And the player should be able to respond and say, different things to the coach, like, well, if I'm going to do this play or this move, I need to know that it's going to happen like this, and the player can give feedback. So I think it's always something that we need to keep aware of, that it is a little bit of give and take.
I mean, I just thought there just the importance of a coach who's coaching, maybe young people in their team who are from different cultures, just to be open and just realize, how to motivate a certain player, and not to maybe call out a player, in front of the whole group. Maybe there might be immense shame for a player. So I think it's important, if you're a coach, to really think about this idea of different cultures and to be a learner. Always be a learner. What a great teachable moment, Carl.
Our giveaway this week, Ben, do we have one? Do we have something? I got a
got a
t-shirt. I'm
giveaway.
willing to give it away.
We've got a bit of sports apparel. Apparently, you guys call it in America, or if you're British, sportswear. So how to win is, if you can tag us on Twitter or social media, I want you to screenshot the podcast. Maybe it might be us on video link, screenshot, and then tag us, or it may just be on Spotify, or maybe on your podcast app of choice. Maybe it's Apple. So you may be watching it, screenshot it, and then tag us, and you will have a chance of winning a sports t-shirt. So get in touch, and Kyle will send you, if you're in America, you'll get it in the US, or if you're in the UK or anywhere else in the world, we will get you the t-shirt. So please tag us, get going, and we're going to give more giveaways, right, Kyle? Big prizes going forward.
We're in it to win it, because we've already won.
Come on, looking forward to it. Awesome. Well, best of luck, guys. Tag us. We're looking forward to announcing the winner very soon. Well, I've got a quote for us to finish this week. Another bit of Wildman's Weekly Wisdom. And it's this, Carl. I wonder if you can tell me.
I love it.
Here we go. I wonder if you can tell me who said this. It's good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good is better and your better is best. Now, of course, I'll let you think about who that was. When
Tupac.
It comes to culture, it's not Tupac. He's a sports player. I'll give you a clue. He's an MVP once, NBA, San Antonio Spurs. Good, better, best. Never let it rest till your good is better and your
David
better
Robinson.
is best. No, power forward.
Manu Ginobili.
No, Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan. Okay.
Yeah,
I was just going to go through all the Spurs. Kawhi Leonard.
No, Tim Duncan, he said it. And I think when it comes to, understanding culture, you can have a good understanding. Can you have a better understanding? Can you have a better, maybe never have a best understanding? But when it comes to your sporting ability, if you're a player, make it good, practice, better, best. Never let it rest. Any good is better and your better is best. Whether that's in your personal life or your professional life, in your job. That quote, but a Wildman's Weekly Words. It's actually Tim Duncan, but there's no plagiarism here. I'm giving him the credit for it.
Full props.
But that's been a Wildman's Weekly Wisdom for you, Carl. What do you think about that?
That's a great way to finish the Already Won podcast. God has given us the victory. He's also given us Wildman's Weekly Wisdom, unfortunately, or fortunately. So whatever you do, don't quit. Ben, keep it up. Hey. Everyone, listeners, keep it up. Tim Duncan did not quit,
and he already won. He won a championship. He already won. He should have won more, potentially, but he already won. Anyway, we already won. Thanks so much for joining, guys, and we'll see you on the next episode.
That's right. Tell your friends, tell your friends' friends, tell your friends' parents and their friends. Thank you. Join us next time. Thanks again for joining us on Already Won, a Sports Friends podcast. Please like, share, and subscribe on your favorite streaming platform.